Hello and welcome back to some more Kerbal Space Program with me, the Green Dragon. So we are currently in deep space on the Bob Paul ship with Bill, Jeb and Bob, and within a week or two we are gonna get our encounter with Joel, unless something has gone horribly wrong, which it has not. Actually, it's not a week or two, it's several months. Oh well. It is what it is. Just making sure that everything is fully refueled before we proceed. We don't want to hold on to these side fuel tanks any longer than we absolutely have to. So we need to make sure that all the fuel tanks which drained accidentally on the connected craft have been refueled and... well, yeah, you get the idea. And just making sure that the crossfeeds are disabled properly. Disable crossfeed here, and I already disabled it here. Excellent. So, joule periapsis is pretty low, but not quite that low. So, let's just drift our way in and see about fixing things. Well, all we really need is a nice stable orbit. After that, we'll match our inclinations with whichever planetary body is closer to us, either Bob or Paul. Inclination-wise, I mean. I think it makes little enough difference which tiny asteroid moon we go to first, because, well, they're both pretty far out and the gravity involved in that is pretty low, so the biggest expense will probably be the inclination change anyway. Of course, we'll see, but I don't think it makes that much of a difference, so I'm gonna go for whichever one I have the smallest ascending-descending nodes with. Okay, in order to drop into a stable orbit, I will need... okay, a lot of delta V, of course. As before, I won't put you through that. I will cut ahead. Quick save to make sure that we don't screw it up, and yeah. Alrighty. Okay, we are... let's just wait until we are... okay, 15 minutes away, that is more or less perfect. And look at that. Ooh, there's Joel in the distance. And if you are watching this on full screen, which you might or might not be, I have no idea, you should be able to see the moons as well. There's one here and there, I think. Yeah, there. Anyway, right now what we want to do is just drop into a nice stable orbit, and then we'll see. Here we're not going to detach any of these, you know, probes separately. We're gonna detach them as once we're in orbit around the actual bodies in question. So, okay, we are reading a 15-minute burn time, so you are about to experience the wonders of time travel. Watch as you zoom ahead in time 15 minutes into the future and zoom. Yeah, the time machine malfunctioned and we got thrown into the past, not the future. Oh dearie me. As it turns out, we are coming in at the wrong angle. Luckily for us, this strange glitch with the time machine allows us to fix it. So we're gonna do just that. So, to that end, we need to turn towards 90 degrees long before we hit our periapsis, because then our speed will be mostly, horizontal, not vertical, and at this point it's still pretty easy to kill our horizontal speed and come in at, the other way. So that's what we're gonna do. Hooray for us! And stop right there, stop right there. Is this before I did the housekeeping? It's afterwards, isn't it? I will have to disable the cross feeds again, but that is a relatively minor matter. Okay, so it was a stupid mistake. So I don't feel too bad about fixing it this way, because feeling kind of out of it today, and normally I would have remembered it, and with as much planning as goes into it, went into this mission, I would say that it's fair to assume that the guys in the control room warned me about it, and yeah, or something. Anyway, there's always an excuse for using the quick load, and I'm sure I can find one. But in any case, I'm doing it this way simply because. Anyway, yeah, so we've traveled back in time, and we will now shift our orbit for an extended period of time. I'll be back with you when there's something to report, so later. And here we are. So that is about to get spent right now. So it's time to transfer some fuel over and get rid of one set of external fuel tanks. And then we need to figure out exactly what kind of an orbit are we gonna go for. I'm thinking I might go for the more inner of the two moons we're aiming for, because when I try to escape from Joule and head for Kerbin, I want to head out as horizontally as possible, and either way I'll have to match with Bob and I'll have to match with Paul. So sure, it would be easier to match with Paul right now, but I would have to push my orbit further out towards, 90 degrees. I would have to, push myself into a slightly higher orbit, and at the same time, I would still have to match with Bob, and then I would have to, either way, it's two inclination changes, one to match up with Bob and one to move back into a normal inclination, so really there's not much difference, and yeah, I think I'm gonna go for that first. So there we are, and we are accelerating. Okay, Bob is orbiting at 11,000 kilometers. Paul is orbiting at 200,000. Alright, so I want a periapsis outside Talos orbit, at the very least. So either way we're gonna be dealing with pretty high speeds. I suppose the higher up we are, the easier it will actually be to do this, so an orbit of some 115, say, 1,000 kilometers should be about appropriate. Of course it will take a while for our thingy to get pushed out that far, but is what it is. Okay, 6,000, 7, 9, and we are proceeding. Okay, so that's 2 more burns. 3 probably. 1 to circularize our orbit, well, to drop into a stable orbit, one to adjust our inclination and one to set up an actual encounter with Bob. So, and then of course dropping into a stable orbit around it. So yeah, there's that. It will take a bit of doing, but not too much, I think. It should be manageable. If only we were going to Tylo. But we are not. We are most certainly not going to Tylo. So that's that. Okay. That is pushing out nicely. Yeah, I'm not gonna cut the video here. We can just wait for the small amount of time that will take us. We're almost there anyway. So 90. Actually, yeah, let's go for 111, 112, something, you know. Like that. There we go. Then if we do this. Okay, and that leaves us with an ascending descending node of 18.4 degrees, which is manageable, I think. Yeah. I'm wondering if I have to worry about fuel on this. 'Cause, you know. But I think we should be okay. Craft does get progressively lighter, and we have only spent like what, 1/2 of our fuel up till now, so we should be okay. And the lander itself has a pretty decent amount of delta V. I mean, it has 2,500 meters per second, which is enough to get a Kerbin encounter from Joule if you launch at the correct time, and with a couple hundred left over. So as long as we have the lander itself fully fueled, we could probably, emphasis on the probably, make it back home safely. Okay, so almost there. Okay, come on, darling. Carefully, ever so carefully now. Okay, so there we go. Adjust that. And there we go. So 10-minute burn. I'll see you in 10 minutes. And here we are. We have a nice stable orbit now. We need to adjust our inclination down to match up with the planetoid moon thingy. So, and that will in turn give us a relatively close path, but that is too far out. So we will move that in just a tiny bit, and that I need to make sure this is just right, apparently, by screwing around with it some. Okay, that is a nice close approach, but at the same time not quite close enough. Okay. We'll then do another maneuver after that to make sure that we are properly matched, that we get a proper encounter. And there we go. Okay, so if we then had an encounter, sorry, a maneuver. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wrong key, wrong key, wrong key. Well, that sucks. That really sucks, because that really screwed us over just a bit. Well, we're still relatively close, so... Well, yeah. And... Okay, so that would leave us a bit too far ahead of the target. If we did it like this, though, we could get... Ooh! Ever so slightly, there we go, there we go, there we go. Okay, now let's... Let's just do that and that. Okay, there we go. Okay, we have an encounter set up, if everything works properly, so... And that's someone at the door. Anyway, I will get back to you once the maneuver is done. So, see you in a bit. Okay, here we are. We have managed to get an encounter with Bob, and we are nearly out of fuel in this stage, so we'll see how that goes. Well, we have one more set of 2 detachable fuel tanks and 1 extra one, but the fuel might be interesting. We did a less than perfectly efficient transfer here, which is part of the problem. And, well, it is what it is. We should still have enough to complete the mission quite successfully, but we have eaten into our reserve, such as it was, pretty neatly. So, from now on in, we can't afford any serious fuck-ups. So, yeah, and I also remember to turn the sound back on. I like to do things in the background when I'm, you know, recording the video in shorter segments like this, so, you know. Okay. So, do I want to come in? Yeah, I think a slightly inclined orbit won't hurt, actually. Okay, so, in order to, orbit properly at, well, 200,000 will, 200 kilometers will do okay, I suppose. Yeah, that will do just fine. Anyway, right now, since we have spent so much of our fuel, we are looking at pretty decent burn times now, which is, you know, kind of good, kind of scary, because we have used up a lot of our fuel. And I don't like that. I like nice thick reserves. You know, I like missions where you never have to worry about running out of fuel, where you have more than enough and then some. But I think we're gonna be fine all the same. This is a pretty efficient design, after all. And it has plenty of delta V when properly loaded out. And yeah, moving between 2 different moons, it's kind of a thing, but even so, I was kind of more worried about the Vall lander because greater speeds, greater amounts of fuel spent, escaping and settling into orbit, that kind of thing. I mean, I was more worried about that one running out of fuel. So, I think we should be just fine here. Where's the planet? I totally can't. There it is. Okay. Anyway, I was more worried about running out of fuel on the Vall ship, and well, we ended up having a really inefficient transfer over to Joule, and we came in at a high orbit, going the wrong direction, and all in all, not good. So we're gonna have a less than properly efficient burn here, actually, which is unfortunate, but well, okay. let's just quickly transfer those over. Still have plenty of time for the burn. If we can just get stuff happening again. Okay, quickly now, quickly. Pump that fuel, pump that fuel, pump that fuel. Okay, so the radial detachable fuel tanks are spent. Undock 1, undock 2, small acceleration to nudge ourselves away from it, and screw it. Whoa, that looked really close. But those should swing out into Joule orbit and hopefully eventually crash into some kind of an obstacle. Yes, we were not in orbit yet when we detached those, so there we are. Okay, we're not gonna have a landing this video, we're gonna finish by deploying probes around both this planetoid, well, this is Bob, and Vall, and we're gonna set them up in a mapping orbit. So, after we make sure that these are fully fueled, which they are, it's time to decouple one. So undock, and we want to, actually this is what we want to do, we'll just nudge ourselves away from the main ship like this by pushing on the thingy. There we go, drifting, 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 and I will re-enable 2 of the RCS ports for nudging capability. And pushing away, which will probably modify our orbit a tiny bit, but hopefully not by too much. Okay, so we're heading southwards, which means that shifting southwards is probably an okay idea. We'll do it like this, and we'll go into a polar orbit in order to map things. And we are around Bob. There we go. Map drawing is on. Activating that engine. Okay, be too much. Okay, that was surprisingly painless. I'm actually surprised. Go figure. Anyway, polar orbit, and let's make sure that we actually have a polar orbit. Anything within 300,000 will do. And we're mapping. There is, I believe, a corpse of a space monster here. So, okay. Come on, there we go, okay. Yeah, it still has half a tank on these and the detachable fuel tanks here, which means that this ship is a lot more successful. Actually, this is a good thing, we could do several landings here for science, if we so chose. After all, yeah, this is interesting, but right now it's also something which completely and utterly does not matter, because we're gonna be launching a probe and trying to put it into a stable orbit, which will hopefully work out alright. Again, there is an anomaly on Vall which we will try to visit, and on Bob it's gonna be easy because it's pretty damn low gravity. On Vall, well, it's high gravity, but we have a lot extra fuel in the main ship, so all in all should be good. RCS is mostly full as well, so undock away, and yeah, off screen I will take the time to actually properly, you know, map the planets in question, since after migrating between saves and stuff, installing, uninstalling mods and stuff, my old maps are gone. So obviously I need new ones. Hopefully I'll have enough fuel for this adjustment. We'll see how that goes. So about here. Yeah, we'll have to keep shifting. Oh, shifting the wrong way too. Well, it is what it is. I'll have to take it. We have already started. I think we should be okay. Maybe. Okay, bit more that way. We want that to go, stay more or less the same. And the 100 and what, 80 seems like pretty decent altitude for mapping probe. And that is looking pretty okay, I suppose. Alright, keep shifting. Okay, we'll need to save a bit of fuel, say 20 units of liquid fuel in for circularizing. Okay, actually, let's turn that away. I know it's slightly inclined, but we don't need perfect maps, we just need to know where the anomalies are this time around. So, okay, I'm gonna bring that into 250. And the apoapsis I'm gonna circularize, and then I guess we're just gonna map this thing out as best we're able. We'll miss some stuff on the poles, but that's no big deal. Okay. And we have done a pretty good job of, you know, setting ourselves up here. Suppose I could adjust it even further if I so desired with the RCS, but I believe it is good enough. Well, crap. Okay, let's see if I push it out like this. I can actually, yeah. Let's just shift it as close to perfect as we can, and we'll do it careful like, burning at a very slight throttle setting. Throttle down a bit more. Okay, that is appearing to be pretty good. Slightly more so that our periapsis goes up a bit, and that is as perfect as it's gonna get. Let's just use the rest of our fuel to circularize at apoapsis. Okay, there we go, and it occurs to me that I forgot to deploy the antenna on the probe I had around Bob, so let's just toggle the communitrons here and move over there to, you know. Okay, there's the planet, and there's the map being generated. Anomalies are on, but we are not detecting any right now. So, okay. No, not what we want. No, Bob. There we go. Come on, select it. Okay, there we are. Let's just deploy these, and those are deployed. So I'll spend some time mapping the planets, and I'll be back to you in a while with a new video when we do a landing at one of the anomalies. Hopefully, if everything goes according to plan anyway. So I'll see you guys later. I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you all for watching. Bye bye.